We are live. So I'm just gonna wait a minute here for people to join so we can chat. Hey, Kenny Beans, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Kenny, so I haven't seen you on here before. Maybe I have. If I have, I'm sorry. So where are you from? Been doing all right. Was in a car accident, so I'm just trying to get through that. It's been a tough week, but I'm still here, so I guess I can't complain too much, right? I've been knocked down before. I'll get up this time, and I've gotten up before, so had some equipment that got wrecked, and just trying to work through it at this point. Heck of a time for it to happen, of course. Having just left my full-time job and started my own business, and then that happens. But you know, sometimes life happens. It was a couple tough days trying to kind of accept what happened, but you know, strong minds and strong will survive. So not gonna let that keep me down. Yes, sir. One day at a time. One day. That's how I'm taking it. So, yeah, it's kind of a crazy story. Still have all your appendages, nothing hanging loose, right? You are made of tough stuff. Yes, sir, Mike. My father didn't teach me to lay down and give up. So I'm not going to do that. I don't want to let him ever see me do that. So as long as I can still stand and I'm still breathing and my heart's pumping and I'm still alive, I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep going for it. Hey, Teacup, first time for you. Hey, thanks for joining. That's awesome. Yeah, so we got 8 people on now. We're about 3 minutes in, so yeah, I guess I can tell you a little bit about what's happened over the past week or so. It's a crazy story. I'm still really stretching only because everything's really tight. My neck and my back are pretty sore. I'm gonna try to adjust this camera a little bit. Put this little wrench here behind it. Maybe that'll stand it up a little bit better. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, that'll work. Hey, Jeffrey, how's it going? Homesteaded Fabricator. Yeah, I did lose a lot of weight. I'm down to, I think, 185. And back in January, I was 257. So, yeah, 70 pounds or so? So, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling awesome, health-wise. So, yeah, I got in I'd say a bit of an accident, but it was a heck of an accident. So I was coming down the road one way, another car was coming down the road the other way, and just like a lot of people nowadays, they're not paying attention, and they kind of ended up over in my lane, so I moved further off the shoulder to avoid a head-on collision. And when I did that, I was paying attention to the car that was coming at me head-on. I veered off the shoulder of the road. I took out a highway sign, and that kind of caught me off guard. It was not really a highway, but it was like a 55-mile-an-hour zone. I was going 55. So I had a trailer, my dump trailer, full, packed tight, full of pretty good-sized pine logs. And I was still under the capacity of the trailer, but I was probably pushing, probably 6,000 to 7,000 pounds behind me anyway, so at least the weight of my truck. that I was driving, and as I was coming down the road, I veered off to the right to avoid getting hit, and when I did, I hit a road sign, and that caught my attention. I looked over, and next thing, there was a whole row of mailboxes right after that. So I turned left to avoid the mailboxes, but when I did, my normal reaction is to turn left to get back on the road, which wouldn't be as big a deal if you weren't pushing, 7,000 pounds behind you. So when I cut left, all that weight came around my left side and pulled my truck around 180 and tossed me and the truck and trailer into the yard across the street into the woods. My trailer flipped completely over. All the logs went flying everywhere. So thousands of pounds of logs everywhere. The trailer flipped upside down, twisted the whole hitch right around. Actually, if you're up for it, I can go up and grab the hitch. I actually have it sitting on the back of my truck. I can show you what it looks like. It was pretty freaking twisted. I'm actually surprised that the truck hitch hung on to it the whole time, and pulled my truck up on top of the pile of logs, ripping the tire off of the truck and ripping a tire off of the trailer, and the trailer ended up upside down. The trailer itself weighs almost 4,000 pounds. So the trailer sidewall to the dump trailer got all bent and pushed in. There's some sort of electrical thing going on with the pump, the hydraulic pump for the dump trailer. So I'm sorting that out right now, trying to figure it out. I did replace the coupler on the trailer today, and I replaced the tire on the trailer and the truck. So that's all back. I used my tractor to try to bend the walls of the dump trailer straight again today, and I got it mostly straightened out, but I think it's definitely gonna need some more work. So I'm gonna try to do as much as I can myself. I have a guy that does some pretty heavy duty welding locally that's gonna help me out in a couple of weeks to try to finish it up and fix it completely. But hopefully I'll be able to be back working again in the next week or two, doing all of that kind of heavy duty yard work type stuff. But I think it's going to be a little bit before I try to get back out there with these things. Between the equipment and me trying to fix these things and me trying to heal, because I am all right. You can see I have a bump here. That's where I hit my head on the steering wheel, and then my arm got all cut up and my thumb got cut open in a couple places. My arm was completely covered in blood, just dripping everywhere because one of the windows got shattered. Ended up with glass all over me, so I was just bleeding everywhere. So they took me in an ambulance to the emergency room and ran a CAT scan or whatever on my head to make sure I didn't have a major concussion or anything, internal bleeding and that sort of thing. So they said I'm all good. So I am still here to tell you about it. So I guess that's a good thing, right? Oh yeah, Northwest Sawyer. So yeah, you missed something. Luckily I missed something. I missed another car head on. But yeah, let me, if you got a second, hang on just a sec. I'll grab the coupler. It'll kind of give you a little bit of an idea of how twisted this whole situation was. Hang on just a second. So this coupler is rated for 14,000 pounds, and it's a 2 5/16 coupler for the trailer. And that's what it looks like from underneath. So yeah, this thing was still connected to my truck after everything flipped over. So that, yeah, that got interesting. So I replaced that. and that's good now. Replaced the tire and replaced the tire on my truck, so that's all good. I can drive it again. Yeah, cheese and rice. Oh boy, yeah, that was quite a ride. I definitely got pulled around and banged around pretty hard. Definitely got some whiplash because it like hurts to turn my head either way, but you know, it's muscles. So lots of coffee and you know, perseverance. But yeah, where can I learn the details of what happened? You know what's funny is I didn't post anything on Facebook because I don't usually, not the type to really draw a whole lot of attention. Oh, well, now I'm on here talking about it, but it feels good to talk about it, I guess. Yeah, so I didn't really post any pictures and splash things on social media or whatever. It happened and I'm getting through it. It's one of those things that I guess if I'm not out in public or regularly sent questions and things like that about it, it doesn't bother me as much. Because at first, my anxiety was kind of tearing away at me a little bit, and you know, some people know that it was tough. A few days I've been a little depressed about it because you know, having just left my job and doing all this stuff full time now, I don't have as much of the funding that I would normally have in a regular paycheck to help me pull through that sort of thing. So I'm figuring it out, you know, sorting out the details of how I'm gonna recover from it, you know, financially and all that. But it just means I'm gonna work more, work harder, and I guess it's a test of will, and that's the way I'm taking it. It's lessons learned on the things that I should have had insured that I didn't, and yeah, it is what it is, you know. So I'm not ready to give up. Let's see. Mike Newt says, any insurance problems? So, well, I guess the only problem is I didn't have like full collision coverage because I had an older truck, so I didn't really put a lot into insuring it. Although I wasn't expecting this, but I think the damages are, I mean, from what I can tell just by looking at it, there's the front, I think some of the front, like tie rod, there's some joiner thing called a clevis that kind of bent. There's like a piston in the front that got dented. The passenger side window and rear view mirror got destroyed. The tailgate on the truck is destroyed. Oh, and the leaf springs. One of the leaf springs completely broke. I don't know what the cost is going to be yet, but I'm going to bring it to a local garage and have them take a look and do what they need to do to fix it. Yeah, in the meantime, I actually was looking at another used truck today because, you know, of course there's the cost of repairs, but there's the cost of not working. So the cost of not working is also expensive. So I looked at a cheap truck today that would get me back on the road. There's a good chance I'm going to buy it tomorrow morning. That will get me back on the road like by Wednesday, which means I'll be working again. If I wait to get the other truck repaired, I don't know how long that's going to be. So I have to move quick, and I can't overthink things too much, or I will dig a deeper hole. So I'm going to probably end up picking up another truck tomorrow or Wednesday, which will allow me to start towing my machine around and getting the work done that I already have scheduled and booked. So the fact that I already have work ahead of me, that's a good thing. I just need to figure out how to get it done so I can get paid for it and move on. So that's where I am at with those things. My dump trailer, I've been working on fixing myself. I think I'm gonna be able to get it like 80% fixed on my own. There'll be some other functional and cosmetic things that have to be taken care of after by a local fabricator, but I think I can work around that. Oh, thanks, Northwest Sawyer. Yeah, I'm all right. You know, I'm here. I didn't lose any appendages. I can still wave my arms around. It's sore and it hurts. My back hurts. My neck hurts. You know, I've had a headache since it happened, but for a few days. It's a little sore, but there's times when I don't feel like working because I'm sore and I'm tired from it all, but it's not an option, so I keep working. And I guess that's not a bad thing, really, you know? Kind of pushes you to thrive and survive. So I'm actually kind of grateful for that in a way. Like, I think if I was working for someone else and I just was able to just take time off of work and get paid for it and blah, 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 I could just lay back and kind of sort of give up. But the situation I'm in is not allowing that. And I think that's what's helping keeping my mindset right. I mean, to be honest, the first couple days, I was, you know, depressed about it and anxious about it and not really happy about it. Wanted to give up, but didn't. And, you know, today was kind of a little bit of a turning point because things are getting fixed. Things are turning around, so I'm pretty excited about it. You know, excited about getting things back. One day at a time, and you'll be right back at it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Cody. Absolutely. One day, I'm just going to take it one day at a time. I know homestead fabric. I know a cheap amateur fabricator works cheap. Just listen to your body and rest when you need to. Yep. That's what I've been doing. The first 2 days, I pretty much just laid in bed and thought through a lot of it, trying to figure out what the best course of action is and how to, you know, how to survive it and get through it without, you know, too much of a setback. And I think I got it figured out. So yeah, but I appreciate you guys. It's awesome. Appreciate your support. That's why I thought it'd be cool to get on here and just chat and let you know. But yeah, it's good to vent a little bit. Yeah, it was a trailer full of logs. Who'd have thunk it, right? Take a day to cry, get the emotions out. Yep. Yeah, that was pretty much it. A day of screaming and crying and kicking and pissing and moaning. That's what I had for sure. I was not thrilled, but and today was the day I found out my insurance wasn't going to cover any of it. I was devastated when I rolled my tractor last week. Time helped clear my mind. Yeah, you definitely took that well. Yeah, and these things aren't easy to absorb. But, you know, the strong survive, and if we can get through the tough times, the good times are just going to be great. You know what I mean? Like, if you can get through times when it's tough, imagine when the times are good. Like, they're just going to be that much better. So that's what I focus on. So my mindset has, you know, obviously improved and changed a lot over the last 6-10 months or whatever, but which is good, because if it hadn't, this would have been a lot harder. Yeah, flipping that tractor, I'm sure, I can't even imagine being on a tractor when the fact that you had your seatbelt on and you were able to hang on to that, that's good, because like, yeah, having that tractor land on you, I can't even imagine. Yes, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a good guy. It's even when you're down and out, it's definitely hard to try to pull up some of those videos and try to get your mind straight. But it helps for sure. I've been tired, but I think it's just a lot of the thinking becomes tiring. But because of all that stuff that's been going on, I've been wanting to spend more time in my shop, which, as you can see, isn't lit very well. There's one. Oops. Well, anyway, I don't know if you saw that. There's one bulb. There's two bulbs. I have two light bulbs that light this whole shop. I've been so busy doing kind of that light excavation landscape type work, I haven't really focused on spending any time getting the lighting corrected in my workshop, which is kind of a bummer because now that this happened, spending time in my workshop would actually be good for me here, and for me here. So the last couple days I've been wanting to come out here, but it gets frustrating because I can't see what I'm doing enough where I feel confident in doing the work. So I ordered some LED lighting that you can daisy chain and run, and I have 10 dual LED light chop lights that are gonna be here tomorrow that I can plug into one outlet. I can daisy chain them all across. That should hopefully light this thing up like Christmas. So hopefully this week I'm gonna start working in my shop some more, and if I have time to work in my shop, maybe I'll get some time to do some videos and kind of do these sorts of things that, keep me going. So, yeah. I hate not doing like the videos and updating and that sort of thing, but these live streams seem to work for me. I like getting on here and chatting and talking to guys, and you guys are super awesome and supportive. Mosquito. Last thing I needed to do was hit myself in the head, but so yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys always being there, and it's cool to know that this community is always around, through thick and thin, right? So we always support each other. I know we all have tough times. We've all communicated with each other, whether through video or chat or whatever, and other means to kind of reach out for support, and it's cool. I always love being able to support when I can, and I always think it's awesome when other people are there to listen. You'll have enough lights. You think the sun moved into the shop? Yeah, I hope so. I think it will. TJ, my brother, what's going on, my friend? Dylan's Woodworks, what's up, my brother, and late happy Father's Day. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, Father's Day was it was a tough day. Stacy worked, the kids were home just spending time in their electronics, and I just kind of laid in bed and thought about stuff. But Homestead Fabricate Mike has helped me get going to pursue my dream. He's also questioned my sanity in quitting the job and be like him with the store and shop on my own. Jeffrey, man, I am pumped. If you guys haven't checked out Homestead Fabricator's channel, he's ramping up. He's ramping up. I'm really pumped for what he's doing. I think what he's just recently decided and the changes he's made, although I know I'm sure there are people that don't agree with it, but people that are in the situation and the mindset of just doing what you love in life and just being happy, totally get it. Like, totally get it. And I think he's there. Yeah. So I'm really pumped and excited for seeing more of what is coming from Homestead Fabricator, because I think it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. It's what life's all about, just do what makes you happy. And you're going to have bumps in the road, literally, and bumps in the head, literally, and figuratively. that are going to try to tear you down, but rather than trying to take others down with you, just stand right back up and get the heck back to work. Just work. And it's not work if you're doing what you love. Just get up and just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. You know, being alive doesn't mean that things are always going to be easy. You know, being alive means we're going to get adversity. We're going to be put through hard times. And it's a test of our will. And people aren't, dang mosquitoes. You know, we're defined by the way we handle our adversity, not by the adversity that we get. You're not defined by the things that knock you down, but by the way you handle it, by getting back up. So yeah, always keep that in mind. You know, if you fall down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And I just, you know, just keep thinking positive and just push through, and things gonna keep kicking you. I mean, like I said, I just had this accident 2 days later. Stacy was out in the yard moving my other truck, the only other truck that I have that I can drive, and she ran into my tractor and dented and really messed up the whole back of that truck and everything. So now I have to fix that too. But it is what it is. These things happen. And so it's been, you know, a rough week. It's not because anyone's out to get me. It's not because, oh, woe is me and the world's falling apart and I was just born this way. And it's just, things happen. Push through it. Get up. Stand up. Don't give up. As soon as you give up, you know, mentally, everything else just doesn't work out. You keep thinking positive. You keep looking forward. You know, things will come around. Not always easy, but so yeah, I'm looking forward to working here in the shop again. Like I said, I'm gonna pick up this truck tomorrow. There's another one I'm gonna look at in the morning. I'm not really sure that one's gonna pan out because the guy's not really great at getting back to me. But I looked at an 05 Silverado 2500 Duramax diesel. It's lifted and it's got all sorts of kind of upgrades and stuff. It's pretty sweet little truck. It's in incredible shape. The frame and everything, the whole core of the thing is mint. The body is near mint. One of the rocker panels is a little soft. Aside from that, everything else is really solid. He took me for a ride and that thing is got some power, so it'll tow whatever I need to tow. Once I get my dump trailer taken care of, I think I'm pretty much going to be back in action, and even better, you know. And then I'll put my other truck in the shop and just let them take their time kind of getting it put back together while I work in order to pay it all back and off. So, you know, come up with a plan, get your head straight, don't get overwhelmed when you get knocked down, because it'll destroy you. And you put yourselves in these situations where you can't let these things destroy you, because I think this is the only time in my life where I would have been knocked this hard and not given up and just been like, whatever, and just, you know, worked from home, so it didn't matter. I would have let my truck sit in the yard and I wouldn't have bothered trying to get things straightened out again. But knowing that it matters if I do or don't, that really is a wake-up call. And yeah, it pushes you not to give up. You can't give up. You know, you got a family, you got people counting on you. You're not going to give up. So yeah, just wanted to get on here and chat with you guys about it, and I appreciate your support. And I was kind of trying to think about what to do tonight. I was kind of getting a little tired, but I still wanted to be productive. I still wanted to, I don't know, just do something. I didn't feel like going to sleep. I did make some progress today, which was good. I might work in the shop a little bit, just cleaning it up and getting things organized, but I wanted to do a little something more. And then I thought, live stream, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be good for my head, and it'd be good to like talk to people about what's going on and what's happened. So, hope you don't mind listening to my rants. Best part is my girlfriend is revved up and excited that my dream is finally happening, and energy keeps me going. I get knocked down, get up again. Yeah, I love that song. Yeah, man. Jeffrey, dude, you're just like, you're killing it. Like, keep doing it. Keep that mindset. You've already started, so you can't stop. You can't. You just can't. You've already started. You got the momentum. You're done. You're in. You're in. You've already won because you already know what you need to do. You've got a dream. You got a vision. You're heading straight for it. Forget about what anyone else thinks, including here on YouTube, including me, including anybody else. Do what makes you happy. Period. End of story, done. 100%, that's it. You're excited about the shop. I think the shop's freaking cool. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing the stuff that you make, because I think that's going to be a lot of fun to see. I think you think that, which is great. I mean, that's the most important thing as to what you're doing. So keep doing that. Like, just keep pushing towards that. Look at your vision. Look at what your, what your goal is, and say, all right, I want to get to this. And when you get to that, make a new goal and get to that. And that, one, builds more confidence, and two, will make you so much happier. The ideas that projects came to mind today will blow your mind. See, there you go. Like, you just have, there you go. If you can't stop thinking about it, then that's what you have to do. That's what I determined, and that's what I feel. Like, every time, if you can't stop thinking about something, then that is what you are meant to do. That's what you need to be doing. And you obviously can't stop thinking about it. So that's what you got to focus on. Don't worry about people talking about getting rid of the sawmill or your land or whatever. Forget the snowmobile. If you want to work on doing fabricating and that's what you enjoy and that's your passion, do it. Just do that. Period. I love the things that I'm doing, and so I'm doing them, and it's working. Obviously you get setbacks and things happen. Not usually this early on, but like I said, you push through, you figure it out. You're going to have setbacks. Just expect it. Don't expect everything's always going to be perfect. But as long as you love what you're doing, you're winning. And nobody else can tell you that you're not. No matter what they say or how they say it, it doesn't matter. Their opinions don't matter. If you're happy, then you're doing the right thing. Bar none, period. End of story. 100%, that's it. That's it. If you're happy, you're doing the right thing. You're not hurting other people. You're making yourself happy. Your life is better. Really. Regardless of what anyone says, their opinions don't matter. And that's the way I live my life. I do what I do. I'm sure there are people who would think, hey, you're crazy. Why the heck would you quit a job where you get all these benefits and this and that, and you good pay and this and you have security? Sure, but I was miserable. You live once. So a month from now, you'll be glad this happened. Yep, it's a test of will, really. When you get knocked down, the way I see it is a failure is an opportunity to grow. When mistakes happen, it's an opportunity to get better at overcoming it next time. When you get hit hard, the next time you get hit hard, you'll know how to recover from it. So it's not always easy, but it's part of life. You'll get up bigger, absolutely. You really will. You'll get up bigger, stronger. That's how muscles grow. People who work out and lift weights and all that. How they get bigger, how they get stronger. They lift bigger weights. So in life, you're going to have to lift bigger weights on your shoulders. You're going to have to deal with bigger problems. So this way, when the bigger problems come, you can handle that. You can hold it, and you can hold your own. You can get through it. You can't get through a major problem if you've never dealt with a problem in your life before. You know what I mean? I mean, you should be almost grateful that bad things happen to you throughout life, because if you get through life and you get to a point where something extraordinary happens to you in a bad way and you've never had to deal with adversity before, you're done. I mean, that's gonna cook you. You're finished. But if you go through life with all this adversity and you learn from it all, you should be grateful for that, because you've learned a lot along the way. So when you get hit hard, it doesn't feel so bad and you can come around. But if you get hit hard and you've never felt it before, it's going to be a lot harder to get through. And that's the way I see it, you know. I mean, it sucks to have to deal with adversity in life, but it's just part of life. It's just part of growing. So, but I'm kind of ranting. It's just fun for me. Like the whole it's interesting to me, you know, the whole life thing and getting through it and figuring it out. So, but yeah, so we got 6 people watching, and I don't even know what time it is actually. I'm just kind of hanging out. 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's not bad. 10 o'clock Eastern time. Oh, it's early for you guys over on the West Coast. It's like just after dinner. I don't know if you guys are up for still chatting or not, but we lost like half the audience here. I do have to go. Nature's calling, and I gotta go answer that call. The coffee doesn't last long. So, give me a sec. I'll be right back. I'm sorry to like make you wait, but I'm gonna wait to see what people say. So, hang on a sec. All right. Sorry about that. I missed a few things. I'm cooking as we speak. Oh, nice. Dinner time over in the northwest. If what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, Mike should be able to lift logs without skill. Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. So after the log trailer flipped over, or dump trailer flipped over, it landed in someone's yard upside down, tore up their whole lawn, and there were logs everywhere. So I had to hire a towing and recovering company to go recover my truck and trailer, which was a chore. So it wasn't what your normal towing cost would be. So that was interesting. But they had to go disconnect the truck from the trailer. As you can imagine, based on seeing that, that was not the simplest task. So they had to bring both of those back here to my property, and that was interesting. So cleaning up the logs, that was a whole nother task. I rented a trailer from U-Haul and used my little truck and went over in 3 or 4 trips and brought all the logs back here because I was determined to get them here. I already got them most of the way home. I wasn't about to just let them be. So, and they didn't want them sitting in the yard, of course. So that was a chore, and my back probably hurts a lot from that too because I was moving all the logs around myself, and they were anxious to get the logs out of the yard. Unfortunately, the guy who lives in the house where everything landed, he was pretty reasonable. The woman of the house, when I told her I was pretty twisted and I was sore and hurt, she didn't really seem to care too much. She was just more interested in getting her yard cleaned up, and I was like, hey, whatever, I'm not going to judge. So I showed up the next day, got the trailer out, showed up the next day after that and got 2/3 of the logs out, showed up the day after that, finished cleaning up, raked their yard out nice, and took off. And insurance contacted them. I do have liability, so the yard's going to get taken care of. Some minor landscape work will clean up their lawn, and they'll be all happy and chilled out. So, Mike, we can hear you didn't wash your hands. Well, I don't have a sink in my workshop, so yeah. Hey, Green Acre Workshop, how's it going? Starting to feel the tired setting in, but I'm not giving up. Doug, good to see you, man. Came in late, glad you're okay. Medical bills will be coming in. Yes, they will. Unfortunately, they will. Yep, got hauled off by an ambulance and in an emergency and got brought to the hospital and had a CAT scan on my head. Yeah, none of that's going to be cheap, but it's all good. You know, I'll live with it. One payment at a time. They're just going to have to deal with me paying them as much as I can. And that's fine. It's all good. I'm still here to sit and tell you guys all about it. And hey, there's nothing better than that. Hate to hear. Glad you're okay. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yep. I'm sore, but I'm still, healthier than I've been in a long time. I feel great. It's almost kind of weird because the way I have the phone set up and the live stream, I can see myself, and it's just funny to just remember I looked a little different, 6 months ago. But it's pretty exciting. I feel great. I still feel good. I'm sore, but I'm good. Just tell them you can do $20 a month. I worked in healthcare for a decade. Best kind of debt you can have, really? Yes. Yeah. The way I understand it, as long as you're sending them something, they'll leave you alone. So I'll send them $20 a month, and they'll just have to deal with it. There's nothing they can do. We're applying for financial assistance at the hospital that I went to. So hopefully that will help. The insurance is going to help with up to $1,000 of it. I think that's just going to be a percentage of it. I know for sure that's, I mean, just the ambulance ride alone is probably going to cost twice that. And then on top of that, the CAT scan and my time in the emergency room and all that is going to be an interesting bill, but I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm already kind of just prepared mentally to deal with that when it comes in. So we'll all get through it. And Stacy's been great, and as a matter of fact, I think she is even planning on leaving her job to try to help ramp things up even more and spend more time at the shop, and I'm going to spend more time here in the workshop making things so we can try to roll more stuff out. Stacy, quiet. All right, I won't say anything. Well, I already did, so too late. Mark says, hey Mike, how are you? I missed some live streams. Yeah, I've only done one other one just recently. See that? I'm on a live stream and I'm already getting in trouble. But apparently Stacy's in the other room making sure I'm behaving myself. Oh, stiff. Getting stiff sitting. Wish I could lift this phone up or something. At least I can hold it. I'm just not very good at sitting down in the first place, but on top of that, just being sore doesn't help. Greenacre Workshop, can you do a quick recap of what happened for us latecomers? Sure. Yeah, let me put my, sorry to shake y'all around here. I'm gonna put my phone up here somewhere where, this way I can kind of stand up. I always feel better when I'm standing. I'm not very good at sitting down anyways. Man, no matter where I set this up, it just looks terrible, doesn't it? Oh, now you can see my garage doors. There you go. Here, maybe this will help. That help at all, or? Alright, you know what I'm going to do? Freestyle. I'm going to disconnect from the charger. Yeah, I'm just going to walk around, because that's, I can't sit still. You like the sombrero? Ay, caramba. Yeah, we went to Disney, and when we went to Epcot, I got that in the Mexico section of Epcot. Yeah, so I know most of the people here already heard about it, but so yeah, the accident was on Wednesday night or Wednesday afternoon. I was just on my way home. I have some friends who have some tree services, and so what I did that day, excuse me a second. I think I breathed in a mosquito. That was nasty. Um, so I have a friend who's got a tree service, and I left my dump trailer with him while he was taking some trees down for a customer. And I went back, picked it up, and I was on my way home with it. And I was heading down one of the major roads that connect the towns around here. So I was going about 55 miles an hour. And so as I was going down the road, it's just one lane each side. And so as I was going down the road, there was a car coming the other oncoming traffic. There's one car, it looked like a small SUV, coming towards me, and I think they weren't paying attention. They started kind of veering off into the oncoming lane in front of me, heading towards me head on. And of course, I didn't want to get involved in a head-on collision, so I turned to the right to avoid that. And they were slowly, I think they just weren't paying attention. They slowly ended up making their way more and more into my lane. I was hoping they were going to realize they were doing that, and they didn't. And so I swerved as much as I could into the shoulder of the road, ended up taking out a road sign, which really caught my guard, caught my attention. And then I looked up, and there was a whole row of mailboxes, so I panicked. That other car had already gone by me, so I knew I can get back on the road. So I turned hard to the left to get back on the road, and I turned a little too hard to the left, forgetting that I had a trailer full of logs on the back of my truck. So when I turned hard to the left, of course, the trailer came around my right side, pulled me 180 across the street onto the lawn. The trailer completely flipped over. The truck almost flipped over. The trailer completely flipped over, and this is what the hitch looked like after the trailer flipped over. It completely twisted the metal. It's a 2 5/16 ball hitch, rated for 14,000 pounds. This thing got twisted right around and flipped the whole trailer over, dumping all the logs onto their lawn. I wish I got some pictures of it so I could show you. I do have some pictures of the trailer that I don't know if I'm going to put them on social media or not. But if you're interested, let me know. I can send them to you. So yeah, it really took me for a spin, and messed up my equipment a bit, or a lot. And I've been trying to just get through that, and that's what I've been doing for the past 4 or 5 days. Just the first couple days mentally and physically trying to recover from it, and then the last couple days getting through the technical stuff. I got a new tire from my trailer, reset the bead on the tire in my truck. I was surprised that the tire on my truck was actually still okay. So I used some, I don't know if anyone's ever done that trick. I have a video on it on my channel, I know, doing it on my backhoe, but the little starting fluid trick. Sprayed some into the tire and the rim and reset the bead on the tire, and was able to get the tire back on the rim, so that's all right. But God's here okay sounds like a horrible, yeah, that was messed up. It was definitely an experience. I've been in a couple accidents that one of them was, I've had a past experience that one of them, if I wasn't wearing my seatbelt and there weren't airbags in the car, I would not be here. But this one was pretty close to that. I missed a telephone pole probably by 2 feet. I missed hitting their house by about 6 feet. I almost took out the fence to their yard. A log landed less than a foot in front of it. I mean, I could not have placed everything in a better place on their property without major issues. Mark says, did the other car stop? So, no, they didn't. Nope. No, it's, I guess, part of humanity. It's not everybody has, yeah, that's the way it played out. It happens. Chris says, glad you're not hurt. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm really sore. I get definitely some whiplash and stuff, but I'm not torn up. I mean, I got all cut up. Doesn't look bad actually now, but I got glass all over my arm. Was bleeding all over the place. My head was all bleeding, but after it was all said and done, I was all good. Cleaned up. I'm sore. I'm still a little dizzy from everything, but yeah, I'm still here. Still able to walk around and chat and talk. So I'd say that's a success. Did you wash your shorts or just throw them away? Yeah, I ended up going, I think I was in shock right after because I was shaking like, it wasn't like a super cold night, but I was shaking. And the ambulance kept putting a blanket on me thinking I was like really cold or something, but I just could not stop. I couldn't stop shaking. So. Well, the focus is messed up. Clean pair of shorts in the glove box. Yeah. I guess they were too busy getting back to texting. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Kind of a feeling it was the same thing. I didn't really get a great look at what they were doing when they were driving. Obviously, the insurance company asked me for a license plate number, and I'm like, I was just trying not to hit them. So obviously, I wasn't reading a license plate. I don't know if they even realized, I guess, what they had caused, because it wasn't until after they passed me and they were probably halfway around the corner, because there was a turn back there that they would have gone around. And by the time they were halfway around that corner, it's probably about the same time I reacted to the mailboxes and the whole back end swung around. So I'm not really even sure. Yeah. But yeah, it was a pretty big mess. But yeah, so que sera, sera, and moving on. I have a bunch of jobs lined up, and I had to reschedule a bunch of them out. So I pushed everything out a couple weeks just to give me some time. Everyone's been really understanding about it. I think I have one job, one customer who said they were going to see if they could find somebody to do the work sooner, and if they don't, they'll probably have me still do it. Other than that, everybody else is just waiting, which is cool. And for people who can't wait, I totally get it, because there's some jobs that people are really on a time crunch to get done. And I'm actually grateful for everybody who was willing to wait. I was not expecting them all to be supportive in the way they were. So I'm super grateful for that. Like, you just got to be grateful for the good ways that things turn out. The gratefulness always outweighs the adversity. Just be grateful for all the good things and don't think so much about the bad. I swear to Miss Tree once and once realized the pine freshener on the rear view mirror. I love it. That's awesome. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna have to use that one. That's great. Yeah, you gotta laugh at life, you know. Just gotta. Things aren't always gonna go the way you plan them to. They're not always gonna go the way you think they're going to. And when they don't, you just have to roll with it. You just have to accept it, you know. Accept things you can't change. You know, after it all happens, you can't go back. You can't go back and undo it. It's done. Now you got to figure out how to overcome it. I mean, that's it. You can't. I mean, I dwelled for a day or two on it, and you know, my brain wanted it to tear me apart, and I felt that battle between, you know, my heart and my brain, but my brain didn't win. I'm not giving up. You can't. You just can't. You know, laughter is the best medicine. It totally is. Yeah. Yeah, that's why a lot of you guys know Emma, and she's always my strength, my rock. She's just amazing. You know, no matter what she goes through and whatever just comes her way, she'll be out playing baseball and be playing a game, and she'll be struck out, and she comes off the home plate back to the dugout with her bat in her hand and a smile on her face, and just parents and coaches are like, she's smiling, and I'm like, yeah, because it's all good. She's still having fun. It doesn't matter. She's out playing. She loves it. And it's like we can all take a lesson from a child, you know. It's just life's too short. Life's too good. Life's too good, you know. There's too much good that you can get in life to really focus on the negative things. So, yeah. Yeah. So how are all you guys doing? Like, what have you guys been up to? Homestead Fabricator says, I said screw it and bought my own Father's Day gift. There you go. Ended up saving $60 on a Vulcan heavy-duty welding cart at Harbor Freight. Dude, awesome. You're going to do a video on that, right? And show us all about it? Because I want to see that. I have my welder. Oh, it's down in my shed. But yeah, I got my little flex core welder, which is not the greatest thing, but I think it might come in handy with my trailer now. I hear you, brother. My little Clara blows my mind with how speaking skills are improving. There you go, man. Financial arts. Just got back from work, conference and SLC trip plus Yellowstone. Kids were ready to come home yesterday, so I had a 15-hour drive home. 15-hour drive home. At least you got the goal of being home. Chris says I'm doing well. Our financial services says still haven't recovered, need some serious Z's. Yeah, a long drive like that is. I've done that recently. We drove from here in New Hampshire to Florida and back, and I did all the driving. And on the way down, it was done in 2 days. On the way back, it was pretty much done straight through. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I did. I'm good to hear you. Good to hear you're doing well, Chris. Chris Clark. Homestead Sawyer says Homestead Fabricator. Have to put the wheels on it, but we'll do a video on the welding cart. Hey, I look forward to seeing that. Northwest Sawyer, I'm working on something for you, Mike. Paybacks. You rascal. Don't you dare overdo it. You crazy guy. You're an awesome guy, man. I appreciate you. On financial services, how long was the Florida drive? The Florida drive was like uh, 20 hours, 20-hour drive. On the way down, we broke it up into like 3 stints. But on the way back, it was like I got most of the way, about 2/3. Took a break, slept for a couple hours in the car in a rest area, and drove the rest of the way all the way home. So it was kind of crazy. But Northwest Star, it's good. I'm not gonna lie. I can't tell you that I'm not excited to hear about it. But yeah, that's cool, man. That's awesome. Appreciate that. That means a lot. That's cool. It's always fun to do these things, right? Butch says, "Hi, Mike. Glad you didn't get hurt." Yeah, no, me too. I'm still here, sitting to talk about it. Graduated myself from the Harbor Freight 90 amp flux core to the Everlast MTS. Does everything in the TIG. Well, it better almost do everything for the pro. Oh, $12.50. That's a good price for it. That's a hefty tag for a welder. Oh, for me anyway. 20 hours on the way back. Yeah, that was exhausting. Doug says, "Glad you're okay. Your can-do attitude is inspiring." Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't always been that way. I just, something clicked, and I just, I mean, even after it all happened, I was kind of set back in my own brain, but didn't, after a couple days of laying there, I was sore, so I just couldn't move. And I always feel better when I can physically accomplish something, and I couldn't. Then we had a bunch of rain, so between the rain and the fact that I was sore right after the accident, that was a terrible combination. It was like a left-right hook to me. Like that just took me. I mean, if it was one of these things where I was in an accident and then the next 2 or 3 days was like sunny blue skies, wouldn't have been as bad, because I would have just gone out, split firewood. I would have been out milling something just to take my mind off it. I would have been, but it just rained. And then Father's Day was just a rainy, miserable mess. And so, yeah, that took a toll. But, hey, circumstances. Got through it, and, people have been through worse. Like, sit here and talk about an accident, but like people, there's so much crap in the world that people go through, and it's like, you can sit there and complain about, you go out to eat and your steak wasn't cooked right, or the gas prices are too high, but it's like there are people out there starving to death. I mean, like, really, people living through plagues, and it's like, hey, I'm good. I mean, like, I can't complain, for real. Like, I got a friend who was an amputee. He's got one leg. I have both my legs. Like, I'm not going to complain. Like, for real. I mean, how can you complain? It's like I almost feel selfish if I were to sit here and cry about it. I'll talk about it and tell people about it, and actually, hopefully, maybe even motivate somebody to like look at their situation that they're going through and say, screw this isn't that big a deal. I mean, really. Life's too short. It's just way too damn short. It's I don't know. I've just thought so much over the past like couple of years. It's crazy. It's funny the things you realize when you think about it. But so yeah, I told Ryan tonight. Not sure. I'm sure he's still awake. I mean, it's still fairly early for him. School ended today. It was the last day of school today. It was a lot of fun. This camera angle's kind of funky. That's a little better. So today was the last day of school for all the kids here, and so that was fun. Last day of school here, they do a field day. where all the kids go out and they do all these different sports, and it's all organized and it's all competitive, and it's just a lot of fun. And I always volunteer for it. I always take the day off. Um, Previously, I always took it off from my employer, scheduled it off. This time, obviously, I just had it off because, like, well, the accident, so I pushed all my work out anyway. But yeah, so I was out doing that, and I just had a blast. I love it. It was such a beautiful day out. Like, the weather was awesome, and the kids had a great time. And so Ryan really wants to work in the workshop today, and it's kind of it's a little late here. It's almost 11 o'clock, but I know he's like anxious and wants to work with me in here, making a few little things and help to organize the shop with me tonight. So I'm probably going to take off here in a minute and do that with him, because I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I do want to show you something I thought was a lot of fun. Let's see if I can get it in focus. Probably not. There we go. So one thing we don't get very much, and I've never milled before, this is the first time ever, is walnut. So I had a local guy, and I got a few small little logs. It wasn't much. He had saved in his garage from a house that he had in Massachusetts, where they had taken down a walnut tree, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, and he saved the logs from it and kept them in his garage, and he was going to do something with them, and he never did. So then he contacted me locally because he saw that I had a woodworking shop and a sawmill, and he just asked if I wanted to come over and take them. And so I was thrilled, so I went over and checked him out, and of course I couldn't say no. So I brought the logs home and milled them up, and I'm pumped. Beautiful wood. So just wanted to show you that. So I am going to take off here. So I appreciate you guys like jumping on. I know it's kind of like unannounced last minute. I'm probably going to do that again this week if you guys are up for it. One of the things I was thinking about tonight that I do miss doing is the fireside chats. So I'm working on building a fireplace out in the yard again, something a little more formal, something that's going to be a little nicer, and get set up properly for it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Maybe bring the kids out around the fire with some marshmallows and just chat and all that. So I think it'd be a good time. So maybe later in the week. Now that school's out and I'm self-employed, we can kind of make our own, schedule. So have a great night. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. Appreciate hearing my story. But if anything that you can take from it, take the good things. Like, you got stuff that happens in your life. Let it roll off your back. Don't forget it and don't ignore it. Face it. Deal with it. Take the good with the bad. And make the best of every day, because, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So take care, guys. I appreciate you all. I didn't get hurt. You guys are still here to watch. I appreciate you. Have a good night. We'll talk to you very soon. Take care.